I'm going to invite Prithvi to turn your camera and mic on and to share your presentation about your HDR internship experience.
Thanks, Susan. Just 1 second. Yeah. It's okay.
Yes, we can see. Thank you.
You can see the slides?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So thanks, Susan, for the opportunity to talk about my experience with the HDR internship. So just to give a background to everyone, my PhD is focusing on developing improved methods to analyze discrete outcome problems. These are widely used in analyzing consumer choice behavior, travel behavior, and also road safety analysis. So during my PhD, I have implemented an open source Python software that helps in estimating these advanced models. And during my internship, I had an opportunity to test or use my software on consumer choice behavior that was analyzing user preferences for MaaS and new mobility alternatives in Queensland. So the idea of MaaS is it's nothing but it's mobility as a service. So this concept is quite popular in the European countries, where like you pay for your utilities, like for example, electricity or internet, where you pay a subscription amount every monthly or weekly, and you get the services. Transportation is also treated like that. So wherein, if you get a combination of services like use of public transport, e-scooter access, or some rideshare facilities, and based on your usage, you pay a subscription amount towards the end of the month. So this way, the transportation agencies around the world are trying these new mobility options to see if people move away from car ownership and adopt some sustainable transport options. So during this internship, the main partners were TMR, that is the Queensland Transport Department of Transport and Main Roads, and RACQ was also a partner, which helped us in a lot of data collection. And QUT was from QUT, it was my professor and I, where we did a lot of data analysis for the team. So initially, I went and discussed my interest with my principal supervisor. I told him that I would like to do an internship because I come from the industry again. I have like 5 years of experience from the industry. So I thought it would be an important, important point to, apply my research in the industry and get to know what it feels like applying your research directly into industry related problems. So first we had a discussion with another industry partner. So that was something to do with activity based modeling. I don't want to get into the details, but it was about travel behavior analysis. But then towards the end, it didn't work out. But since my supervisor knew that I'm interested in doing an internship, he offered me another one, which was about analyzing the preferences for MaaS within Queensland. So then we also we also requested a QUT mentor, another professor, Douglas Baker from the School of Architecture and Built Environment. So he agreed, to mentor me for the 6 months of the internship. So one of the key requirements that I had was that I wanted to apply the skills that I had developed during my PhD in the internship. So I wanted to see if it was able to solve any real world problem. So and the alignment with my PhD topic was an important criteria for me. And since MaaS or analyzing preferences for MaaS was understanding consumer choice behavior with respect to transport, so I thought it would be a great idea or a great way to do the internship. So the opportunities that I saw here was I was getting access to some new data sets that can test my methods and see how it works in real world scenarios. And also the experience to independently plan and deliver the project was an add-on. So While research also teaches you some kind of independence to design and implement your own research study, but transferring those skills into the industry world would be an excellent way of testing your abilities. So a bit of background, like I mentioned, mobility as a service is like a subscription plan that can cater to all your transport services. This idea, while it is popular in Europe, it is not. It's not. It has not been implemented within Australia. But there are a lot of research teams that are trying to understand the preferences for MaaS. And in Queensland, ours was the first study. So the objective of the study was to understand the underlying preferences for MaaS bundles. So within the MaaS bundle, what people would like to have more access to, whether it was public transport or whether it was rideshare facilities or whether it was e-scooters. And along with these MaaS services, we also offered some preferences, like we also offered some incentives for the customers, like rewards in terms of grocery discounts or entertainment tickets and coupons and things like that. And we wanted to see if people were more inclined to buy MaaS services if these incentives were provided. And also we wanted to identify demographic groups among whom MaaS could be a potential option for people to choose. So for this, my key responsibilities were to design the survey. So the data collection was mostly conducted by RACQ. So once I prepared the survey and questionnaires, I handed it over to RACQ, and they collected the data from me using a market research team. And then once I got back the data, my responsibilities were to clean the data and process it for the analysis. I conducted a detailed exploratory analysis and some discrete outcome modeling. So over the period of 6 months, I had to present a progress update every week with the clients, with team members from TMR as well as RACQ. And towards the end of the internship, I provided them with a detailed documentation and report based on the findings that I was able to capture from the data analysis. So it was a wholesome experience. So from the start of the project where I had to design the questionnaire and as well as do the analysis, it was a mini project that I was able to do within 6 months of time. So the key takeaways were the skills that I developed during the 6 months of my internship. So while I had some programming experience during my PhD, I was not able to gain specific skills in terms of visualization. So the data that I was able to gather from this project, I used it, or I utilized it to learn Tableau, which is a visualization tool. So another thing that was very important was the development of my ability to convey in ideas to the clients. So in general, what happens is during our research, we tend to use all these technical terms like discrete outcome modeling, statistical analysis, and things like that. But for the industry partner, it does not mean anything until and unless we are able to, clearly interpret what it means for practical applications. So this way, the weekly progress meetings allowed me to use simpler language so that my ideas were conveyed more clearly to the clients. And also, as I said, the 6 months had different stages of the project that I had to independently handle and deliver. So this internship allowed me to handle the projects more independently. Although my supervisors and the mentors were there to guide you, but it's more or less you're handling everything on your own. And like I said, my main objective of choosing this internship was its alignment with my PhD topic. So therefore, I gained some benefits to my PhD out of this internship. That is, from this study, we were able to publish we were able to develop a book chapter that is under review and is considered for publication. Also, the software that I developed during my PhD, I was able to test it and show its significance to TMR. And now we have shared that software with TMR and for their future use. And also the additional data sets that I was able to capture through this internship, I'm able to use that to test my methods and to improve them. So it's both win-win situation for me as well as for the clients. So they get a lot of information about mask preferences, whereas I get a lot of data for my testing. So during this entire PhD, the HDR team, the support team, has been very helpful, especially Simon and Susan. So they have taken care of all the administrative stuff, that is, whipping up the agreements, talking to all 3 partners, and then arranging for periodic progress updates. So I had nothing to worry about in that part. I was just, required to work on the internship, as well as they provided support during the entire 6 months. They also arranged periodic, progress updates like the mid-internship presentation as well as the final internship presentation, and also provided an overall mentoring. So I'm happy to answer any questions or any concerns you have, or if you want to talk to me one-on-one, I'm available. I can drop in my email address on the chat box. So if anyone wants to connect, thank you.
Thanks so much for your amazing presentation, Prithvi. And I just wanted to point out a couple of things that I think you mentioned that were so wonderful for other students to be able to hear. The first one is that you were working on one internship opportunity and that one didn't work out. And so this one with TMR was the second internship that you were actively pursuing. And I think that that's definitely something that students should know, that they don't always work out, and to definitely have multiple irons in the fire, so to speak. And did you have any, I guess, advice on just sort of bouncing back, quickly from that when that one didn't work out?
Yeah, so the first thing is to talk to your supervisors and ensure that you've expressed your interest clearly, that you want to do an internship. So that they know, okay, this person is really interested, and whenever there's an opportunity that pops up, your name is the first that comes to their mind. So since I've been during the I was in my 3rd year when I started the internship, so I wanted some time for my PhD so that I could work in although the PhD clock stops, I wanted to make sure that the insights that I gained from the internship can be helpful in my thesis as well. So that way, I think, it's always important to be prepared and talk to your supervisors and make sure that, they know what you, really want. Yeah.
And I also loved that one of your objectives for the internship was, as you said, you'd come with industry experience previously, but you really saw this as a new opportunity to apply the newly developed research skill set from your degree. And did you find that the experience of the internship met that goal for you?
Yes, it did. Like I said, I was able to see during your internship, what happens is you tend to focus on specific skills. Like my focus was only on developing my programming skills in Python and optimization and so on. So I was not able to give time for my other skills like visualization, for example. So this internship provided me with the data as well as the opportunity. So during the 6 months, I was able to explore that part of exploratory analysis and visualization, so which is more relevant for the industry. So if you just give them a bunch of codes and programs, it's very difficult for them to interpret it and appreciate it, but the same things that the outputs from these codes, if I'm able to visualize it well and present them clearly, that's when it's more relevant to the industry partners. And that's the skill that we need to, again, go back to the industry, or even in academics. I think it's an important skill that we should learn. Yeah,
absolutely. Being able to I remember Liz Minchin, who was the editor-in-chief of The Conversation, she said so eloquently once in a session with HDR students that smart and curious people aren't going to be able to engage with you if they can't understand what you're saying. So I really appreciated that you noted in your presentation just being able to tailor your communication style so that the industry partner always knows what's in it for them, what's applying for them. And also, I just wanted to say a massive congratulations, because having SearchLogit as something, you know, a program that's implemented at TMR, it's in use at TMR, that's an amazing outcome from your internship to have on your CV, and congratulations. It's definitely something that you can point to, you know, to future career prospective employers. And so we might move on